Sarangi is a bowed, short-necked string instrument from subcontinent, which is used in Pakistani classical music. Its flexible tunability and its ability to produce a large palette of tonal color and emotional nuance makes it unique. Carved from a single block of wood, the sarangi has a box-like shape with three hollow chambers.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PTV World with the headlines for this hour. I'm Farooq Fayaz. Prime Minister Imran Khan says a decision about easing the countrywide lockdown will be taken after seeking inputs from all the provinces on 14th of this month. He was addressing the members of Balochistan's provincial cabinet and parliaments in Quetta. Prime Minister Imran Khan calls upon the nation to join hands with the government in the war against coronavirus, as it is the issue of the entire country. Number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Pakistan rises to 4,462. So far, 63 patients have lost their lives due to the deadly virus in the country. Prime Minister's Special Assistant Dr. Zafar Mirza warns people to observe social distancing, as non-serious attitude can cause sudden rise in the coronavirus cases. Pakistan pledges $3 million towards the SARC COVID-19 Emergency Fund to support regional efforts in the fight against coronavirus. Government announces a Ramadan package worth 2.5 billion rupees for provision of essential commodities to the masses at reduced rates through the Utility Stores Corporation. Pakistan Cricket Board decides to hold online fitness test for 200 players via video link on April 20th and 21st. Those were the top stories for this hour. For more details and live streaming of the channel, you can visit our website world.ptv.com.pk. It's goodbye from the news studio.
Losing forests and the biodiversity they protect is like losing the life support systems that we all desperately rely on. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the soil that supports crops are all linked to the delicate balance of nature. But the local people are also vitally dependent upon the forest. Having lived this way for generations, they cannot survive without its resources.
लकड़ी जंगल चवासी गुजारा चलती नहीं चलता जंगल ने वे फिर आपने कटनी पेंदी जमीन जो उस लकड़ तो गुजारा बहुत मुश्किल था गैस से 10 टैंक को दो भी छोड़े 5-6 फुट बर्फ से ये साल बहुत ठंड है पानी गर्म चाहिए हर गर्म चाहिए माल बच्चे होने में
What we see is that we are losing the forest rapidly. We understand that communities, this is also communities' forest and there is no doubt about it. But on the top of that, there are issues of encroachment, there are issues of timber mafia.
The timber mafia is a much bigger threat to the forest than the local people. With greater financial resources, they clear patches of the forest much faster than the local villagers could ever do. The hillsides are left barren. Forests are not only vital in preserving biodiversity, but also for controlling soil erosion and for watershed protection.
These forests, especially the forest in the mountains like of Ayubia National Park and the surrounding reserve forest, these are important watershed areas of our springs.
Where there are no more trees to hold the land together, rainwater washes away the soil. At the same time, the floodwaters deepen the ravines and clog the local streams. In the worst case, as the soil washes away, it causes landslides that erode large tracts of land from the terraced hillsides. Pakistan is fast losing the little tree cover that remains. If the current pace of deforestation remains unchecked, Pakistan is likely to lose most of its forest within the next 30 years.
You are watching PTV World.
Hallo, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khushamdi ji ayanu. Goedemorgen.
Pakhair agale, ni hao, tune shumme, washmale, ohaya gudzaimers, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabikap, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very full of energy, Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking. What about you? And what is the reason behind this very wide smile today?
Well, you know, okay, so we'll definitely be giving away the reason, but on the other hand, I think that I'm doing perfectly fine, alhamdulillah, and I think that for everybody who's feeling perfectly fine should actually feel blessed too as well. And obviously there's a reason why you're feeling fine, ladies and gentlemen, in these times of pandemic, and that is that you're actually looking after yourself, and that you're looking after the people who are actually living with you inside your house or homes as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, recently since I was searching, and you know, since every day we have to be on television as well, I could see that there are a lot of people who are not taking or probably not looking after themselves very amazingly or very effectively as well. But ladies and gentlemen, let us be very clear and honest over here. For people who are going to show negligence in these times will actually face all the repercussions of their negligence. So please make sure that you don't do that, because it's not just about your life, it's about all those lives which are affiliated with you as well.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, that was so true. And other than that, it's Friday finally. Well, of course, we're headed into a weekend, although all weekdays actually feel like weekend nowadays as well. But do remember my entire team, Shahzad and myself as well, in your prayers too. We do love to talk about and inform you about the ongoing situation as well, giving you the right stats and facts as well, and you know, to sort of make you, or at least convince you to please stay at home, because that is for the safety of your own family members, your friends and whatnot. But today, Shahzad, I actually wanted to start with something different. And to begin with, it's a question. How often, or do you at all, have bad dreams?
All right, well, I think that's the most interesting question, and ladies and gentlemen, that was the reason why I was actually smiling initially as well, because this is what Shiza told me, that she's going to ask me this as well. And you know, there's this one dream which I had. Well, I don't know whether to call it a bad. If we say bad, then we cannot say dream. I think that it needs to be a nightmare, you know. So yes, I think that everybody kind of goes through that phase of life as well, where you know, you are a little stressed about things, and then you know, you actually see it while you're sleeping as well. So I think that, you know, for people like us who are actually on television, we really need to look after ourselves. You know, we always make sure. I mean, with women, you know, obviously they will go for whatever. What do you call those face treatments? And you know, I do not actually know the name, but there are different treatments which people go through. So you know, they look after themselves. They want their skin to be glowing. They want their teeth to be perfect. And a lot of people are wearing veneers these days as well. So I don't know. It was a very random thought. I don't know how I came across such a dream as well, but you know, so one day, so I was sleeping, obviously, so it's a dream. So I don't know, I was taking a selfie in a dream, and all of a sudden, while I'm taking a selfie, I could see in the camera that my front tooth actually fell down. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm on TV. This cannot happen to me. And I just woke up and I realized, I was like, okay, yeah, my teeth are intact, and I think that I'm good to go. So this is one thing. But other than that, you know, there are a lot of other people who call you and they're like, okay, you know, we saw you in our dream and you really need to go out and give sadaqah. And I'm like, okay, I will give sadaqah, because it gives you that impression that, you know, okay, there might be something wrong. And yeah, so then the best thing to do is to give sadaqah as well. But Shiza, I think, has got a very amazing proposition over here, and she's like that for whoever is going to see you in their dream and tell you to give sadaqah, I think they should give sadaqah in the first place and then tell you to do it. But what about you? Have you ever seen a bad dream?
I often do. Sometimes, actually, I do have bad dreams as well. But about your dream, bless you. That is because, of course, you shouldn't share dreams, but I really hope it has not a bad meaning too as well. But, you know, Shahzad, the reason I asked is because sometimes when you do have something bad in your dreams, when you wake up, you sort of carry that energy forward as well. And throughout the day, that bothers you, right? Even in the back of your mind, even when you're working, you're like, okay, this happened in my dream. I don't know how to get over it, or how to know what to interpret of it, what this means, or is there a sign or something? So how do you get like over that?
Well, I just don't think about it that much, and it's because of the fact that, you know, it's not reality, it was a dream eventually. And you know, for me, I'm a very realistic person. I need logic for a lot of things as well. So even though, you know, you do get this fear, if I'm going to say that, you know, that I never get fearful, I think that'll be that's not me being honest. But on the other hand, I think that I just kind of put it at the back of my head. I know that this is something which has happened, and I need to be really careful, and that's about it. So once I give sadaqah, I do feel a little relaxed as well, that, you know, whatever it was, now it's in between Allah and the dream itself. So, you know, I'm out of it. But that's how it is. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that there are a lot of other things which we really need to discuss today as well, because we have been discussing about education, we have been discussing about online education platforms as well, and what schools are actually doing to make sure that the kids are doing something new on a newer day. But not just that, I think that COVID-19 itself brought a lot of different things for different industries. So let's explore it this way, that, you know, for example, what did COVID-19 bring or what do you think that that the education industry needs to do in these times of pandemic where we know that it's COVID-19 as well? And since you mentioned about figures, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly before we get started with the conversation, the total number of cases in Pakistan right now is 4,489. And I think that the graph is still going up, and we really need to be careful. I know people are losing their tempers. They cannot sit back at home now. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to do it for each other. You know, in this time, if you're going to stay, apart from each other, in times to come, we'll be together forever as well. So
Inshallah.
please make sure that you don't worry about that. And now coming back to the education industry. So what do you think that COVID-19 brought for education industry?
Okay, that is, a difficult question. Now that you've thrown it to me, I feel like it is a difficult question.
Yeah.
I feel like, Shahzad, throughout this entire week, we have been sort of, every other day discussing this or bringing underline this digitization as well, how each and every single, education institution, schools, colleges, even Montessori's have gotten online. And a lot of teachers have, been preparing a lot of material as well, course material too. Now, I'm going to speak on behalf of a student because I am a student.
Yes.
I don't really like it because I'll tell you what, if the government tells you that these are my summer vacations, then I expect them to be my summer vacations. Why do I have to work even online on my summer vacations when, like, we have to go back to school in July or even later on as well? So that is the one reservation that I have. But of course, there are so many other perspectives to it as well. And to discuss those, we have someone very apt over here in the studio. So without further ado.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by one of those people who've really brought about change in the education industry itself. And, he's always been one of those people who've always made sure that he's going to, let other people know how important teacher training is, or how important all of these different aspects, or what the curriculum needs to be. And he's one of those people who've definitely designed newer curriculums which needed to be followed, but I don't know eventually whether it worked out or not, because we're meeting after a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an educationist himself. He's the executive director, ASCD. Ladies and gentlemen, right in front of you in 1, 2, 3, Mr. Umair Qureshi. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Absolutely perfect. Are you looking after yourself?
I am surely.
And just to get started with the conversation before we hit the topic, do you ever get bad dreams?
Yeah, I do. Most of the time. I mean, it's very frequent thing these days, especially.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a part of life. Obviously, you don't always get the good dreams. You get the bad dreams as well.
Sure.
But again, it's and I agree with you. You carry that negative energy whole day along with you. But when you get into something important, you just forget about the dreams.
Yeah, that's true.
And you wait for another dream.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah, so to get the conversation started, let's talk about, I'm going to ask you the same question which I asked Shiza as well. What do you think COVID-19 brought and was so different for the educational industry?
Shahzad, COVID-19 has actually shaken the fundamental stereotype kind of beliefs.
Exactly.
Okay.
How we used to look at education, how we used to look at schooling, how we used to look at learning, it has shaken everything.
Yeah.
And the bad part is that we were not prepared for it.
Yeah.
So, like today, everyone is up for the online teaching, online learning. But there are very sensitive areas which need to be addressed.
Exactly.
So when we talk about education industry, it's not about a teacher and a student only.
Right.
There are many people who are working on the back end. Like the producer of this program is actually doing a lot on the behind the screen.
Truly.
Similarly, we have policymakers, we have administrators, we have the people who are taking care of that whole stage. That has to be run in a proper way.
Yep.
Now, when COVID-19 hit the world, we have observed that, number one, people didn't take it very serious initially. Even they are not taking it very serious today.
No.
Yeah.
And that is why the cases are going up. The second thing, obviously, we expected that, first of all, the schools will be closed and the universities and colleges will be closed. But now, the question is how it hit it. It actually hit the stereotype ideas that the students will go to the school and the teacher will be coming and teaching face to face. And then we have seen very random decisions.
Right.
Just to take over that situation in a way that we can cope up with that, with the adverse effects, suddenly everyone went on the online. And the problem was actually obvious because the teachers were not trained on the online programs.
Yep.
There was a difficulty on the paid softwares and unpaid softwares. Who has to select which software, which one is better. And the most important part is how to keep the safety of the students and the children
Right.
online.
Exactly.
Because when you enter in a classroom and you teach 50 students, 30 students, 40 students, it's easy to manage compared to online.
Yeah.
Because on online, anyone is going to snatch your whiteboard, start speaking and writing things. I'm not against speaking and writing. It's about those fundamentals that actually related to the emotional safety of the children.
Exactly.
If someone is going to share something suddenly on the online platforms,
Yeah.
which is not appropriate for a very young
Right,
kid,
right.
Exactly.
it is rather going to be an adverse, a bad thing, instead of supporting them or promoting them.
Exactly.
That is one part. The second part was how the administration and the teachers would be connected.
Yeah.
Again, that is online platform. Again,
Would you mind if I stop you over here?
Yeah.
You know, because this a very interesting aspect which just popped up in my head, and that is that, you know, even in universities within the administration block, there's a lot of politics which go on.
True.
And there's a lot of politics in between teachers, the head, HOD, you know, the vice chancellor, and all of that. How do you think all of these people are living? You know, people who are habitual of doing all of these politics, because these days it's not possible at all.
yeah, this would be quite boring because doing politics online is a bit terrible idea.
It's so
Exactly.
I mean,
restricted.
you just call up someone and you say, let's have a WhatsApp chat,
Yeah.
Yeah,
a video chat, and what you are going to do, let's do the politics. It's a terrible idea, I know.
Yeah.
But I think probably people are waiting that the government opens the lockdown and we come out for the politics and we go to the restaurants as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a serious thing again. So the connection between the administrators and the faculty, at the university level, at college, at your school level, has been exposed as well.
Exactly.
How close they are, how they understand each other. Normally in meetings, when someone is standing in front of you, people used to stay quiet as per the norms of the society,
Yeah.
Right.
out of respect or out of fear, whatever. But
Yeah.
when you are online, I mean, your kids are running around, and you are in a meeting with the faculty
Yeah.
or with the administrator, with the principal. I mean, it's weird. People actually do ask you that you just need to mute the mic.
Exactly.
These are very nitty-gritty things
Exactly.
that one needs to take care. I mean, we didn't know how to establish norms for an online meeting.
Yeah.
Which, when you are speaking, you have to unmute your mic. When you are not speaking, you have to mute it, because there are so many technical things that are involved. And when there are certain softwares, if someone suddenly speaks up, the screen pops up, and the guy who was actually addressing is gone,
Yeah, yeah,
and someone randomly is coming up, so the screen is going up and down. You are
But
tossing
Qureshi
all
sir,
around.
you know what? For all the things, while yes, there are legit issues over here, because I do see a lot of classes going on and things, similar things happening as well. But none of us were prepared for this, right?
We were not.
Like, no one knew that with the event of, with the advent of 2020 as well,
Yeah.
we were going to face such a thing. Like, by the end of 2019, no school, no university, no organization actually prepared for online classes, actually trained their teachers, trained their students. So we are in a trial and error phase right now. We have no idea how long this is going to go for. But now, coming to one very interesting question, which I often ask a lot of educationists on my show. Do you think with the advancement in technology, classrooms are actually going obsolete? Physical ones.
Okay, this is a really very tricky question. The most important thing is, number one, will it disappear?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second question is, will we allow it to disappear?
Yeah.
These are two different things.
I mean, if I was a student, I'll definitely allow it to disappear.
Yeah, maybe it can transform. We don't know about disappear.
But Shehzad, the education systems and the procedures are not decided by the children.
Exactly.
That is decided by the
Unfortunately.
adults.
Exactly.
So it's like someone is going to tell me how I should walk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
though it's my choice whether I want to walk or not.
Yeah.
So giving this right to the students, we know that this is Khan Academy, which actually initiated this whole idea.
Yeah, online lectures
years
and
ago.
everything,
Yeah,
yes.
online education, and many people are working on it. And today, even if the classes are going on, if face-to-face learning is happening in the schools, even today the teachers do online teaching and learning. But yet, look at Pakistan's the quality of the Pakistan's education system.
Right.
The ranking we have. We are 123 out of 137, 142 countries.
Okay.
Now, in this case, the teachers will need lot of training.
Okay.
and understanding that what kind of content has to be delivered.
Exactly.
Apart from this thing, we have recently seen, and I was talking to the people, and we are in a deep conversation, what Cambridge examination system has done due to COVID-19.
Yeah.
They suddenly pulled back from the June session and asked the students for asked the teachers to provide the predicted grades, and the teachers are actually confused.
Predicted grades?
Yeah.
Oh, without even appearing in the exams?
Without even appearing in
It's
an
going to be a
exam.
problem for a lot of students out there because
It's
they've
a
been
chaos.
dependent. Yeah.
It is a chaos because the teachers are, number one, they don't know how to send their predicted grades. Fine, a complete description is given by CIE,
Okay.
but whatever the description is given, the teachers are not trained on that thing.
Exactly.
Right? So, quickly, if I talk
And not
about
just that, I think they will even fall victim to favorism as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that
there's
is the
just so
biggest
many
threat.
possibilities.
I mean, the burden of the proof when comes on a teacher, the teacher is the most accessible person.
Exactly.
The students can access, the parents can access, everyone can access, asking what is my grade, what is my grade, what is my grade. Now, keeping fair and a system that is transparent, developing within days is very difficult thing.
Exactly.
Policy always, whenever someone comes up with a policy, that policy has to be executed for a year at least.
Yeah.
So you see that what are the positive and negative things, and you keep on refining the policy. But doing these things on ad hoc basis, again, it has raised big questions.
Yeah.
Like Cambridge examination system said that you have to take care of the coursework and the classwork and the homework. On the basis of that, you predict the grades.
Yeah.
Now, coming here in Pakistan, that was not a practice.
Yeah.
Everyone was preparing the past papers and going for the exams.
Exactly.
It has shaken everyone. Like what is happening here? That we didn't used to assign the assignment for the marks in A levels, in O levels. We just used to do the practice, past paper practice, and appear in the exams.
Exactly.
There was a serious question mark.
Yep.
And then it brings a question mark on that examination board as well.
Exactly.
That why didn't you give so much autonomy to the teachers right from the start of the academic year?
Exactly.
They could have worked on it.
Exactly.
And they could keep the grades if some unforeseen situation is there.
But no one knew about it. So sorry, Shahzad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to make an assumption and I want you to clear it up if it's a yes or no. If we do, like you said, that no one was ready for this, and because of the loophole in education system of Pakistan, the Pakistani teachers especially were not ready for it. Because of COVID-19, do you think eventually the entire world is going to come to a standardized education system?
Standardization in education is itself a very terrible
Global
idea.
standardization though.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, okay.
The reason is, look, Shahzad and Shahzad, right? The problem is education system must be dealt as an organic system.
Okay.
It's not a mechanical system.
Okay.
You have plants at your home. You don't try to standardize them. I mean, you don't care if a plant is not going
One's bigger,
vertically or
one's
spreading
smaller,
vertically.
one's
Okay,
greener.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of human race, that we are different. If we are standardized, imagine, everyone is like Shahzad. How terrible is the world?
It is very terrible for me then.
Yeah.
Anybody can take the same
Everyone
job
is
I'm
like-
doing, yeah.
Right.
So the uniqueness of humans are very important.
Absolutely.
You know, when we say the standardization should be done, yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
To some extent, we do it.
Okay.
Like we have one standardization at grade 10, 11, then we have at university level.
Yeah,
we do the
bachelor's and then one,
standardization.
Yeah.
But we don't do it very extensively.
Okay.
The reason is, and if we do it globally, you know, the cultures are different. In United States, there are different norms. In
Right.
Finland, it's different. In Pakistan, it's different. The problems are different. Mindsets are different. Some people, some countries have directly emerged as independent countries, and some had been the colonials,
Exactly.
right? So the cultures are different.
And now the post-colonial ones are called third world.
Yeah.
Third world.
Lord.
So I don't go into the favor of standardizing everything, but I suggest that, like, we three people are sitting here, everyone has a different learning style, everyone has a different learning pace.
Yeah.
Right.
The importance of IT and the technology is that it should provide more and more opportunities for the people who want to learn according to their wills.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's true.
That
That
does
is
make
important.
sense. Yes, absolutely, that does make sense. Now, again, hypothetically speaking, when we are talking about classrooms, let's say they do go obsolete, and online class as well, they're a major trend for the rest of our lives as well. But human interaction and communication is key And you know how that how important that is in developing a child's personality.
Yeah.
Because homeschooling was even an aspect going on for so long. And children who have been homeschooled, yes, they may be genius, but they have a hard time, you know, interacting or socializing with the world. How do you think that is going to, the discipline of
Look,
the community?
the purpose of school was not actually just content delivery.
Exactly.
It was to develop the students like, you know, how to live in a society.
Exactly.
If you have seen the people who live in hostels and the people who come daily, the day scholars,
Yeah.
the hostel people are more into social things,
Okay.
right? The reason is
Rather than
they
studies.
they have 24/7. I mean, I used to live in a hostel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I personally think, I mean, day scholars, I'm not saying day scholars are dumb, they are good.
Yeah.
And they are learning as well, and they are interacting with the people. But those people who used to live in the hostels and who are living in the hostels, they are interacting with the people 24/7,
That's
Yeah.
true.
right? So your interpersonal skills matter. And today, when we look at education sector, how education and how the future will look like think about down the lane 30 years, 40 years, how the world will look like. The world will not be looking at the content
Yeah.
that you have learned. No one will be actually bothered whether you have any grade or degree or
True.
anything. The world is looking at the ideas.
Yeah.
The world is looking at the skills.
Yeah.
Like imagine you go to a multinational company and say, here I am, Shahzad goes to the CEO and tells that I got A grade, I got
grade.
this and this and this. CEO doesn't care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I run a company, I don't care about the grades.
Yeah.
I am looking actually what new idea this guy has.
Yeah, so which is why, you know, I'm going to share my my ideology over here. Since, you know, the epicenter of this conversation is standardizing of the syllabi or the curriculum is, so I think that, you know, there's so many different disciplines. I think that I will actually stick with standardizing it, and it's because of the fact that somebody's studying MBBS, somebody's studying business studies, somebody's studying engineering, somebody's studying politics as well. I want to standardize within all of these disciplines the kind of information and knowledge which is available, so that it does not matter in which part of the world you're practicing, whatever your job is, but in whichever part you're going to go, the norms will be the same, the basics will be the same, and I think that it is less confusing for the students then.
I think that does make sense as well, because Shahzad, you know, let's speak about you know, people doing MBBS.
Yep.
It takes 5 years in Pakistan now, if you do exclude the specialization and whatnot. And after 5 years of studying a lot, if they have to go abroad and practice, they cannot really. They have to take 2 or 3 more years to take the exams, and then to be, well, to start their house job, not even be a fully doctor. So if, let's say, the syllabus of MBBS or medicine was standardized, then anyone studying in any part of the world could actually work anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that.
Right?
Do you?
So what do you say?
I do, but the thing is that those standardizations are already there.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
gaps have been covered. Like for example, if you have done MBBS from Pakistan and you want to go and practice in United States, obviously the technology present there and the content present there and taught there is much more advanced than in Pakistan.
Exactly.
So the gaps which are there have been covered and the bridges are already made. Yeah, we can try to say it. Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Let me call it bringing the world closer through education.
Yes.
Right? Because the word standardization itself is a very hard word. You know,
Yeah.
when
It's
I
rigid.
think of everyone has a different lens, but for me it's a very hard thing.
Okay.
Like whatever, imagine who will decide that what should be the global standardization.
Exactly.
That will snatch the freedom of the countries
Right.
in terms of content, in terms of, you know, the things that have to be taught. So we can say that globally linking more people, and obviously online
That's true, I
things
agree to
has
that.
brought them. Yeah, true. So when in Pakistan people are now into this online teaching and learning, they are also connected with the people abroad as well, and they are learning from them as well. You know, it's flooded with the softwares, with the ideas, with the techniques, with the methods. Everyone is trying to get it more and master that area.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
So standardization is good to some extent.
Yes.
Rest is bridging the gaps.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, if otherwise, you know, if there's a developed nation and they're like, okay, now we will be the ones who will standardize it for everybody else. So imagine us studying, rather than studying Pakistan studies, we're studying probably Korean studies or something.
I'll give you a perfect example of
Yeah.
that. Imagine when you talk about human rights organization, The US making a human rights organization and saying it's global.
So
We're talking about the UN.
yeah,
but
so very
Imagine
quickly,
how big will be that content, how large will be the content. You have Pakistan studies of 70 years and you start studying US history of 200, 400
Imagine
years.
that. We don't
you
need
will go
that.
crazy.
that'll be very difficult, and was never a very good fan or a fan of Pakistan studies. You know, I always used to have difficulty in studying that as well, even though it was only for 50 marks as well. But yeah, I think there was always a little bit of difficulty. But so very quickly towards the end of this segment, first of all, what will be your message for all of those people who will be appearing for their, or well, not appearing for their GCSEs? Is it like a year which is going to go to waste, because then they are obviously looking forward to going into universities, and nothing looks very positive as of now. So what would you say?
So there will be two messages. One will be for the parents who are actually more worried than the kids.
Right. And rightly so.
Rightly so. The thing is that we all know this is not a normal situation.
Yeah.
The whole world has been hit by COVID-19. I would suggest those students who were preparing for May-June session, they should go for October, November.
Okay.
And for the parents, the message is that, you know, it doesn't matter actually that if you take a gap year. The most important thing is the safety of the child.
Exactly.
And the emotional health. If your child is not emotionally healthy, what's the point of bringing up an adult who is actually disturbed,
True.
who has been judged a lot?
Exactly.
So our society needs to understand that this COVID-19 has actually exposed the hollowness of board exams and the credibility of the grades. To be very honest,
Yeah.
it should be an ongoing assessment, ongoing learning, ongoing checking.
Every day.
Every day. Like I learned, if you judge me on my class 5 result, I mean, that will be totally unfair.
Yeah.
I didn't know many things at that time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, it's difficult at in this age to imagine I was once in class 5.
Yeah.
The thing is that parents need to support the students.
Yeah.
It's not important to use the grades just to, you know, get into the universities. It's okay, I understand.
Exactly.
Getting into the university is a big dream, but this is not a normal situation.
Exactly.
Stand beside your children. They need you. They need your support. And
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir,
you so
for being
much.
with us. It was lovely to be in conversation, and thank you very much for widening our horizons in terms of education whenever we speak about it. But ladies and gentlemen, towards the end of this segment, I only have one small request to all of those private schools or probably public schools as well, which are actually making sure to impart knowledge, and that too on online platforms as well. Please make sure that you do not put parents under a lot of pressure. You know, I've seen a lot of parents where they're looking for printers, where they're looking for laptops to print the assignments and then give it to the students. Please make sure that you come up with smart solutions. I mean,
Yeah,
a solution,
convenient ones.
because whether every kid has got an iPad or not, that's not important, but every kid might have a father's cell phone or a mother's cell phone as well. And please make sure that it's real time, that they take across right onto the cell phone. They do not have to print. Parents are under a lot of pressure. Please, it's a request to all of those schools. Make sure that whatever apps you're developing are user friendly in the first place, that the parents can understand who have not been to schools even. And then, you know, it should be real time. It should be right over there on the applications, and that's it. And it is submitted straight away as well. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much, Marissa, for being with us.
Right now, we're heading to a very short break. When we come back, we will still be talking about people who are making the world better amidst COVID-19. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with Shahzad Khan and Shaza Hashmi on a very bright and a very energetic morning. Today, as usual, we are discussing how to improve things in so many different sectors of our life in the time of coronavirus or COVID-19 as well. Shahzad, you know, we often love to speak about how philanthropic we are, and we love to speak about how we volunteer for things as well. So generally, before the COVID-19, generally speaking, around 7 million people used to volunteer for different reasons on a daily basis in the entire world, and that was just brilliant to look at. And now I feel like the numbers have gone up so much. I mean, because every other person that we meet lately is inspiring us in a way that we never thought they would. I mean, everyone is working for helping people in need as well, and today that is what we are celebrating in this segment.
Exactly, and just to, you know, speak about it, ladies and gentlemen, recently you saw that, you know, Prime Minister Imran Khan actually announced about the Tiger Force as well, and a lot of people have volunteered in thousands and thousands. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen in recent days of COVID-19 that people are actually trying very hard to help other people who are daily wagers, people who actually were laborers, people who cannot actually earn enough to actually have food for one time.
Right.
So let alone, you know, how they're actually going to probably go through this pandemic as well. But, you know, this organization is very different, and it's because of the fact that they're not distributing ration bags, they're not distributing any monetary funds as well. But what are they distributing? They're distributing awareness. They're spreading awareness, and they're letting people know how important it is to stay back at home, how important it is to wash your hands, how important it is to make sure to, you know, keep yourself clean or take a shower every single day. And I think that this is the most important aspect of COVID-19, that that the awareness needs to be out there amongst people as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this NGO itself exists in more than 169 countries. We have a volunteer from one of this organization. The name of the organization will definitely be asking the way to happiness it is. Well, let me give it away. But the most interesting part is that they have this book, and which is translated in more than 120 different languages for obviously other countries, and it's from before the COVID-19 actually even started, and it says how to wash your hands, it says how to actually take a bath, it tells us how to actually look after yourself. God forbid, if you're sick, you stay back at home and make sure that other people do not fall sick. So we have a representative from this NGO, The Way to Happiness, ladies and gentlemen. She's none other than Ms. Naseema Qureshi. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you, and whatever your NGO is doing is very different in nature, and we truly appreciate, and which is the reason that you're here as well. But very quickly, you know, because every other NGO these days is distributing ration bags, making sure that everybody's eating enough food, that everybody's getting medicines.
Right.
How come you guys got this idea that, okay, you know, everybody's doing this, why shouldn't we be spreading awareness? And how are you going about it? How are you spreading this awareness?
The way we spread this awareness, there is a website called www.thewaytohappiness.org. There are videos we made for, in this book there are 21 principles.
Yep.
And like the first principle of this book, which is very needed right now, is take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because with this COVID-19, if you don't want to be sick, you have to take care of yourself.
Yep.
If you are sick, for God forbid, you have to stay away from other people and make sure other people don't get sick.
Yeah, and they're safe.
That's your responsibility.
Exactly.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So this is what happens, Shahzad, like people know these things very well. This is a common sense guide. We say common sense because the things which the book teaches, take care of yourself, be like try to treat other the way you would like to be treated.
Yes, exactly.
Right? This is very common sense. Everybody knows. But when you go out in the society, is not being applied.
But you know what? I'm sorry to interject over here, but I think it's more than spreading awareness, because I think that what is written inside the book has to do a lot with our norms and values as well.
Exactly.
I mean, if the way you want to be treated yourself, you need to treat other people like that.
Exactly.
I mean, for example, God forbid, there are a lot of naughty people out there as well. And if there is somebody who actually decides to be not to be treated very well by other people, and he or she starts treating other people not in a very nicer way, I think that that'll be a very wrong implication of this book.
Exactly.
So I think we really need to give them that mission as well, that you know that this is for your awareness and this is for the betterment of the society.
Exactly.
So okay, book is one medium.
Yeah.
You being on television, we interviewing you is the second medium.
Yeah.
But how do you think that we can do it to reach to the masses?
The way we do it, we go to school. Right now we cannot do that because we cannot gather people.
Yeah.
But this organization has been in existence for more than 30 years.
Yes.
So what we do, we print this publication. It has been printed more than 117 languages.
Wow.
We print this publication, we go to schools, we go to governments, we go to nation leaders, and we get their support.
Yep.
We make them read the book, we make them look at the message, and once they agree, they help us to spread the message.
That is great.
Yes.
That is actually a
Yeah.
very good activity
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But ma'am, you rightly mentioned, I think, that these activities of, going to schools and holding sort of seminars as well
Yeah.
were happening before the COVID-19.
Yes.
Now, in the time of COVID-19, before the show when we were in conversation, you said that you try to highlight the common sense things that people,
Yeah.
tend to forget.
Yeah.
So now I want you to answer particularly in the time of COVID-19 as well. So now lately, the times that you're holding sort of, let's say, seminar or awareness campaigns and, awareing people generally, what are some of the, list some of the common sense things that you tell them that, hey, this is what normally happens, but you're not doing it in COVID-19 and you should.
Yes. Like one of the precept here is set a good example.
Okay.
One of the precept in this book is do not do anything illegal.
Yeah.
Right now, our government is requesting us don't go outside, right? So it's kind of a legal order, right?
Exactly.
So in order to help our government, in order to help our nation, in even any other nations, I think right now it's kind of global thing. People are being in lockdown. Doesn't matter which country or which part of the world you are in.
Yeah.
So we should cooperate. Because if we want to get rid of this thing, we should cooperate and follow the rules and regulation.
Exactly.
And it's a very common sense. But people tend to ignore it and tend to not do that, which create the problem for the societies.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me tell you, society is made up of individuals,
Yes.
right? Every single individual has to really understand and agree with it and willingly do it.
Yep.
You can try to force people, you can beat them up, but they can still try to do it behind your back,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
true.
not going to help.
Exactly.
That's true.
So what we do, we bring people's willingness and awareness high, so they accept it on their own determinism,
Yeah.
so we can have a better society.
Exactly. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for saying that. And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people over here are very determined to make sure that they actually defeat this COVID-19 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not just that. There's one more thing which I wanted to bring into attention of a lot of other people who are out there who are watching us in 46 different countries. And I want to ask it from you too as well. So ladies and gentlemen, in the previous week, we have been doing a lot of shows on education, a lot of shows on how the organizations, the NGOs are actually helping the needy in this hour as well. But there's this one thing which a lot of people have said, and they have said that, that a lot of people actually want to score good points and they want to be in the good books, and they're not actually paying heed to whatever we are proposing in terms to help other people.
Okay.
And I think that this is one thing which everybody needs to take notice of. I mean, probably the Supreme Leader himself as well. But ma'am, so you said that just to spread this awareness, you actually have to go to other political leaders of
Yes.
certain different areas.
Yes.
How many leaders have you approached so far, and what was their response in the first place?
Around the world, we have approached a lot of leaders.
I'm talking
of-
Pakistan particularly.
Pakistan, we have approached a lot of leaders.
Okay.
We have gone to education ministers,
Yeah.
but it's
Great
not
guy.
during this COVID-19.
Yes.
It's before that.
Yep.
We have met mayors, we have met governors.
And what was
of
their
the
first
area.
response when you met them and you told them that
About
this is
the
what we
book?
need to? Yes.
Yeah, the response was actually very good.
All right. So
Very,
that's great.
very good. Yes, yeah.
And
yeah.
that's promising. And do you
That's
think that with the
promising.
help of this book, a lot of people will learn? Because a lot of people over
Yeah.
in Pakistan cannot even read.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we have in Urdu.
Urdu, yes.
But the other way we do seminars, and we make people do practical things about these precepts.
Which is great.
Like, you can see, like, who will disagree, love and help children?
Yeah. Nobody.
Nobody
sadist.
should be. Like, right?
Nobody's
That's-
even going to disagree with love and
On-
help elderly.
Yeah, honor and help your parents, right? set a good example.
Exactly.
Right?
Let me pick something up from this book as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
do it.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
want you to read it in Urdu.
So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, in Urdu it says apne ilake ka khayal rakhein, which in English means that you really need to look after your surroundings or the place where you live. And I think ever since we were growing up, there was this magazine Taaleem-o Tarbiyat. We used to read it quite a lot. My grandfather used to get it for us. And it used to always say that, you know, if you want your house to be clean, please make sure that you do not throw all the trash outside on the street, because that street obviously comes to your house as well. So I think that the messages written in these books are very nice and apt, and everybody can take them or use them for their advantage. But the book needs to reach out to other people. So how are we spreading this book? Do people have to buy it, or the NGO is giving it for free?
For right now, I have books which I can give it free. So anybody who want to request a book, they can contact you, and I can provide them book for free.
Wow.
Not a problem. So, but let me tell you the purpose of this book.
Very quickly.
I have.
And then there's this one interesting as well. Apni zimmedariyon ko pura karen. Whatever is your responsibility, you need to fulfill. Wow.
Yeah, especially in COVID-19, we all have something to take care of this part, so we get rid of this. You see?
That's true.
So, why I gave you this book? It says your survival is important to me.
Yeah. Wow.
The reason this book has been spread around the planet, and just so you know, it's about more than 280 million books has been spread around the planet.
And thank you very much for saying that there will be a lot of books which will be available as well. But Shiza, you want to ask a question?
No, I'm done.
Okay, I thought that you... Ladies and gentlemen, we have a secret language, so at times we do get ticket otherwise as well. But ladies and gentlemen, these are very beautiful lines. Towards the end of the book, it says, खुशी की राह उन लोगों के लिए एक तेज रफ्तार सड़क है जो ये जानते हैं कि किनारे कहाँ पर हैं. Shiza, would you mind translating it? खुशी की राह उन लोगों के लिए एक तेज रफ्तार सड़क है. Ladies and gentlemen, the road to happiness is for all of those people who know where the corners are, or where the islands are, or where the shore is.
That's just beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Naseema. All the best of luck for all your future endeavors. We love your organization, what you guys are doing, awareing and, you know, informing people. It's absolutely brilliant.
And I'm going to keep it from myself.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm going to take one too. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you have to do. Be responsible and recognize and identify your responsibilities as a citizen and fulfill them as well. Just very quickly, I want to tell you something, Shahzad. A scientist said, recently I read about it, he said that if I had a freeze gun, I wish I had a freeze gun, and I would freeze everyone in the US for 14 days straight with a 6-foot difference so that they could not move. And on the 15th day, when they move by observing such things strictly, COVID-19, the coronavirus will completely disappear. This is actually the strength of social distancing, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we always keep telling you to stay away from each other, stay at home, and, you know, not interact with everyone, because this is the only way we can defeat it. So I really hope you abide by what the government tells you to.
And thank you very much, Shiza, for saying that, because then at the same time I'm going to let you know as well that for all of those people who've been in quarantine, who've been in isolation, and then they go out and then they meet people who've actually not followed the rules and they haven't been in quarantine. Imagine they have to be in quarantine once again just because of you. So please don't do that. Please make sure that you look after all of those people who are around you, because I think this book tells you, you know, that you really need to look after everybody who's around you as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you stay happy by staying at home, so that other people who are not going to be meeting you will be happy themselves as well. And yeah, isolation means that you're not even supposed to go to your parents' place. Isolation means that you're not even supposed to go to your sister's place or your brother's place as well. Stay at your own places and make sure that you observe isolation and quarantine and self-isolation.
Absolutely. So ladies and gentlemen, if you need this book for free, write to us on a Facebook page with the name of
World This Morning on your television screens.
Yeah, on Twitter.
World This Morning without a G.
Daily Motion on YouTube.
On Daily Motion, it's World This Morning. On YouTube, it's PTV World, but you will have to search for the program name, which is World This Morning, the most famous on PTV.
And the repeat you can catch at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, please take care. Stay at home and, well, stay tuned.
1, 2, 3. Good morning. Happy Friday. Remember us all in your prayers. Bye. Good morning.